Let me tell you a story. It begins in the summer of 1919, where a young Michael Volpe of Vestaburg, Pennsylvania, avid inventor and apparent excessive drug user, had a dream where he thought he could make a wrench that had a spot for every single fastener that was ever made, built right into its design. And he came up with this insane contraption, which consists of numerous locations for multiple different shaped fasteners, from large hexagons to square-headed fasteners to, for some reason, octagonal fasteners and pentagonal fasteners. Why? Nobody knows. I'm assuming the drugs. What I'm here to do today is to somehow recreate this. It has never been recreated, to my knowledge. Most likely because it's so dumb, but so interesting at the exact same time. And it must be recreated. The actual patent description leaves much to be desired, because he decided that just a little blurb saying that this is just an ornamental design for a wrench was enough. And apparently it was, to get this thing actually patented. And the most hilarious part to me is that after designing a wrench with this many potential fastening, tightening, or unscrewing locations, he decides, hey, let's put an alligator wrench on the bottom just in case this doesn't factor in every single thing in existence. And ironically negates the entire purpose of this side of the wrench, because an alligator wrench can actually grab on to every single type of fastener with such a simple design. A pure genius in his time, clearly. I have taken the time to try and draw out all of the potential fastening sizes and locations. There are over 47 that I can count. There are some that I cannot solve and figure out. These specifically in this corner here on the right side, I'm not entirely sure what they are there for, but maybe we will figure that out as it goes along in the process. This shaded area near the top also concerns me. I believe it looks like a scraper. Something like an axe or a screwdriver would not really make sense based on the location of the handle in reference to this. If it was, like here or something, maybe. But this is probably a scraper. We'll never know. The description says nothing because he was incredibly high at the time of this drawing. I have decided to adjust the scale of this patented wrench drawing in order to have the distance from here to here being the largest square fastener distance be 1 inch. And when I do that, these other ones kind of fall in line into nice, appropriate, like 7/8 and 3/4 sizes that would probably make sense for the time. So we will be going with this scale, and I will be slapping this onto a glorious slab of 3/8 thick 4140, which we will machine and harden and sensualize accordingly on this journey of excessive filing. Okay, here it is. I have tempered it so it is not super crazy hard to the point that this would shatter into a million pieces. I also just focused the heat on here and here, and essentially these are the only areas that are hardened. I was too nervous to get all the hardness up in this. Just because stuff like this would probably just snap right off and then I'd cry. So I'd rather it just bend off and then I bend it back. But look, watch. Oh, but what if I go this way? Oh, wow. Such a unique and rare invention at the time, considering I could have just done this with an alligator wrench. That actually bites very nicely. Ooh, almost too nicely. Clearly a genius design, but it does fit many, many different sizes. Tons of little square guys. The pentagram fastener I don't have because it's the sign of the beast. That's gone forever. Great job, Eric. These all will eventually fit in here. You just got to find the right hole. Here, see? You know, that one goes in there. It's kind of confusing. Oh, that also fits in there. Very nice. So I'm guessing these square fasteners also seem to fit in the octagonal ones, which I guess is useful. This is one that's like a little too undersized, I guess. Or maybe this one's too oversized. Anyways, um, it seems to work fine. I'm not complaining in either way, really. But just why? There's just so much why. Let's go talk about this for a little bit at the workbench. Okay, I need to quickly talk about the alterations that I made to this wrench that differ from the patent. Okay, this was due mostly to the restriction of the shape and size of the files I could obtain to actually file in all this insanity here. So I have changed some locations to a hexagon instead of an octagon. The smaller the fastener size, the more difficult it was to do an octagon shaped fastener hole. I hate that that even exists here. It makes no sense. So some have now been turned to square and some are hexagon as seen here. Secondly, I still do not know what this is. And if this looks like it's off and weirdly shaped, that's because it actually is. And that's how it was designed. I don't know what they do. Some people have suggested to me when I explain this whole patent design on Instagram, it looks like something would mirror itself into these two slots. It's actually not the case because these lines don't line up. And this isn't even in the exact middle, this little square point here. I have no idea. This must have been maybe some custom fastening thing that the drunken Michael Volpe had in mind. I don't know. The teeth have even been filed to the mismatched shape of the patent drawing. There's always a discussion to be had on how, truthful to the patent drawing you should be. But in this case, I tried to stick as close as possible, even though production versions of patented objects are never really the same as the patented. I also have decided, just because I would like to continue the insanity, to add triangular fastener positions in a way that in no way can actually work. So that makes me happy. I've also decided that the shading was a convex scraper. That seemed to make more sense in terms of you jamming something with it versus a concave one, which would have made this so sharp and dangerous that I'd be somewhat fearful just handing it to somebody at some point. I did get fairly close, I think, in trying to get this to 1 inch. Let's see. Oh! Oh! I'm 5/10 off. I'm just not good enough, I guess. Anyways, so that's appropriately sized and the rest all kind of fall in line. I tried to do my best. I lightly sanded the edges here just because I didn't want to chop my hands with a nice slice. But either way, it does fit pretty nicely in the hand. I still, at the end of the day, cannot figure out some of the parts. I'd love it if you can help in some way. Even the entirety of the design needs some further explanation. Maybe somebody out there has some details. If not, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next pattern recreation video. Later.